Good afternoon. My name is Barbara Fuller. As Chair of the Board, I welcome you to this December 20th, 2022 organizational and regular meeting, the Washtenaw County Board of Road Commissioners. Our office coordinator, Aaron Smith, will describe how our meetings operate, how to access the agenda packet, and how people may participate remotely. Aaron.
There are multiple ways to make public comment during today's meeting, whether you're joining us in person or virtually. If you are here in person and would like to make public comment, please fill out the sign-in sheet now. If you're joining us virtually, we will ask you to virtually raise your hand at the appropriate time in the agenda. If you're joining us virtually, the chat feature on the Zoom meeting is available only as technical support for users on their computer or smartphone. If you're experiencing technical issues with audio or video during the meeting, submit a comment in the chat feature and I will help you troubleshoot. If you're a staff member experiencing issues, please contact the IT help desk for assistance. The audio and video of this meeting is being recorded and a link to the recording will be posted to wcroads.org in the next few days. There are printed copies of today's meeting agenda on the table and it is also posted on our website. There's a link available in the chat if you're joining us virtually. And I'll turn it over to Chair Barb Fuller.
Thank you, Aaron. I now call this meeting to order and ask Aaron to call the roll.
Chair Barb Fuller.
Present.
Vice Chair Rod Green.
Present.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Present.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Present.
And the following directors are in attendance. Managing Director Cheryl Siddle. Director of Engineering and County Highway Engineer Matt McDonald. Director of Operations Adam Lape. And Director of Finance and IT Dan Ackerman.
Thank you, Aaron. At this time, would you please join us in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag for the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. May I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented, please?
So moved. Support.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Aaron, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
And Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. Next item on the agenda is the election of officers for the coming 2 years. As Article 3 of the Washtenaw County Road Commission Board bylaws direct, may I have a motion to elect the chair and vice chair of this board to serve for the years 2023 and 2024.
Yes, Madam Chair. I move that the board hereby appoints Commissioner Barb Fuller to serve as the chair of the board for 2023 and 2024, and Commissioner Rod Green to serve as the vice chair of the board for 2023 and 2024.
A second, please.
Support.
Any discussion? Aaron, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
And Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. May I have the next item is the acceptance of the minutes from our previous meeting. May I have a motion to accept the board meeting minutes of December 7th, 2022 as presented, appearing on pages 4 through 12 of the packet.
So moved.
Support.
Any corrections, additions, deletions? Seeing none, Aaron, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
And Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. Next item on the agenda is public comment. This is the time set aside on the agenda to receive comments from the public. This is not intended to be a period for dialogue. Each person will be allotted 3 minutes to address the board. Aaron will explain how people may be recognized to offer comments to the board.
Since this is a hybrid meeting with both in-person and virtual attendees, we will take turns between those attending in person and virtually. For virtual attendees, we ask that you virtually raise your hand now. If you're viewing the meeting on your computer, first make sure to click Join Audio. You can then raise your hand by clicking the Participants or Reactions button at the bottom of your screen and then the Raise Hand button. If you dialed into the meeting from your touch tone phone, raise your hand by dialing *9. I will unmute virtual participants with raised hands one at a time, and I will announce your username or last four digits of your phone number when it is your turn to speak. Please share your name and address before beginning your comments. For in-person attendees, we will start with those of you who have signed up in the sign-in sheet as you walked in. If you didn't sign in, you are still welcome to make comment. I'll notify you when it is your turn. At this time, Chair Fuller, we have no one virtually or in person that would like to make public comment.
Thank you, Aaron. Next item on our agenda is written communications appearing on pages 13 through 17 of the packet. Commissioners, is there anything you wish to draw our attention to?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Commissioner McCollum.
I like the article. That is, I don't have the page number. The article on Commissioner Fuller for reappointment. I thought it was well written. And it was very good. It's on
Page 15.
page 15.
Anything else?
And I'd also like to say that I appreciated the correspondence, I think, from Brent Schlack as it relates to parking on Dixboro Road.
Appearing on page 17.
Yes.
So Madam Chair, I also would like to reiterate the communication by Lawrence Kestenbaum on page 5. Congratulations to your reappointment. And the letter that was sent out to Diane O'Connell, the supervisor, by Matt McDonald. I appreciate that, and hopefully she appreciates that head up also. And I am glad to hear that the letter has been sent out to the Dixboro project on page 17. 16, 17.
Very good. Anything further? All right. We will move on then to Commissioner. There was no public comments, so we don't have any follow-up there. Next item is new business. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented, items 1 through 6, pages 18 through 71 of our packet.
So move.
I support.
Any discussion? Seeing none, Aaron, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
and Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. Next item on our agenda under new business, we have 5 action items. May I have a motion to approve action item number 1 that would approve the 2023 board meeting schedule as presented on page 61 of the board packet?
I so move. Your
Support.
Any comments on the schedule at all? I'm hoping everybody took a look to make sure there were no conflicts. All right. Aaron, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green,
yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
and Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. Next, may I have a motion to approve action item number 2 to approve the 2023 working session schedule as presented on page 63 of the board packet. The resolution itself appears on page 22.
So move.
Support.
Any discussion? And please take note that there are a couple of working sessions where a topic has not been identified. Commissioners, if there come to mind anything you'd like added to this schedule, please let Cheryl know. If you would please call the roll, Aaron.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
and Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. All right. The next item on our agenda are appointments to the various leadership positions on different committees and commissions. May I please have a motion to approve these appointments?
So move.
Madam Chair, I'd
I'm
like to
sorry.
make, that's okay. Please, I move that action item number 3 to approve 2023 through 2024 WCRC appointments to the Michigan Township Association, the MTA the Washtenaw Area Transportation Study Policy Committee, known as WATS, and the WCRC representative and voting member of the Washtenaw County Parks and Recreation Commissions as follows. Commissioner Rod Green as the WCRC representative to the MTA, Commissioner Barb Fuller as the Washtenaw County Road Commission representative to the WATS Policy Committee, and Commissioner Joanne McCullum as the Washtenaw County Road Commissioner representative and voting member of the Washtenaw County Parks and Recreation Committee.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none. Aaron, please call the roll.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
and Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. Next, may I have a motion to approve action item number 4, to approve the right-of-way acquisition of parcel 3 in conjunction with the Bemis Road Roundabout Project in Ypsilanti Township. The resolution appears on page 23. Background appears on pages 64 through 66.
Madam Chair, that upon the recommendation of the Director of Engineering, County Highway Engineer, and concurrence of the Managing Director, the board hereby approves the acquisition of a 312 square foot public road easement, more particularly described in attachment A, from the property owner Michael W. Habib, a married man located upon a parcel of property commonly known as 7989 Whitaker Road, Ypsilanti Township, Michigan, with a corresponding tax identification number of K-11-34-300-032 in the amount of $1,350.00.
A second, please.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none. Aaron, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
and Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. Next, may I have a motion to approve action item number 5, to approve the right-of-way acquisition of parcel 4 in conjunction with the Bemis Road Roundabout Project in Ypsilanti Township. The resolution appears on page 24.
Madam Chair, that upon the recommendation of the Director of Engineering, County Highway Engineer, and concurrence of the Managing Director, the board hereby approves the acquisition of a 312 square foot public road easement and temporary grading permit, more particularly described in attachment A and B, from the property owner Dale E. Lobach, located upon a parcel of property commonly known as 8035 Whitaker Road, Ypsilanti Township, Michigan, with corresponding tax identification numbers of T-2003-200-029 and 030 in the amount of $1,985.00.
A second, please.
I second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none. Aaron, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
and Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. Next item on our agenda are reports. I don't believe we have any county commissioners with us today. Is that correct?
No,
Okay.
no one, none in attendance.
Thank you. We will move on to the report of the road commissioners. Commissioner Green,
I have no report.
Commissioner Yamas,
I have no report.
Commissioner McCollum.
Yes, I do have a report. I attended the Washtenaw County Parks and Rec meeting on December 13th for the first time since COVID in 2020 at the admin building.
Really?
It was, yes. So we had a party, little party, a little get together. So I forgot how long the table was. It was just really, it was nice. We were all together back at the home place. So that was good. And so there's an update on the border to border trail, and that information I have sent to
admin about all the updates to the border trail. I did want to say that there is going to, I'm happy that there's going to be a recreation center that was approved by the Washtenaw County Commissioners to be done on the eastern part of the county, and along with the partnership with YMCA and other partners, of course, to help with that much needed activity, have a place for community and for the youth to come and be able to do recreation things. So thank you.
Commissioner McCollum, is that new construction or is it repurposing an existing structure?
New construction.
Okay.
It's 30 million that we're going to raise funds for.
Okay. I will report that on December 10th, I attended the swearing-in ceremony for returning State Representative Felicia Brayback of District 30, the new District 33, Representative-elect and Washtenaw County Commissioner Jason Morgan, the new District 23, Representative-elect Carrie Reingans, the new District 47, and Representative-elect Jennifer Conlon for the new 48th House District. That concludes my report. We will move on to the Managing Director and her staff reports. Those appear beginning on page 72, concluding on page 78. Cheryl.
All right. I'll start by asking if you have any questions about the staff report. I'd be happy to answer. All right. Moving on. Before you, we had several pieces of information. The first was an event calendar. Aaron did a real nice job of putting together right now what we know of events coming for the next year. We'll certainly update this if something else comes to add to the calendar, or several of the dates are TBD. So we'll continue to populate that, but I thought she did a really nice job of sort of laying out what the coming year looks like for us. So thank you, Aaron, for that. In addition, we have the chat schedule. If you want to start putting this on your calendar, we did go ahead and set up the schedule, assuming that we will have 5 commissioners. Don't know the schedule yet for the appointment for the remainder of Commissioner Doug Fuller's term. But for right now, if we could plan on putting, because Commissioner Barb Fuller is filling in next week for what would have been Doug's slot, and then Commissioner Rod Green, if we could put you in for the January sort of extra slot, so to speak. And then we'll see at that point if we have a new commissioner or not, and then we'll repopulate that when we get this person, or else we'll continue to go round robin if that's okay with the board on, you know, sort of filling in for that spot until we have our 5th commissioner. So again, put that on your calendar. And if you have any questions about that, let me know. But that's been certainly a nice avenue for public input with people. So we'd like to keep that going through next year. The last, let's see, one other thing we put before you, this came out yesterday. CRA updated the infographics with respect to the gas tax. So in your mailboxes, we had put the new gas tax is now at 28.6 cents per gallon. And it's, I thought, and gas is also up to $3.50 as opposed to the old rate, both of the gas price and gas tax. So that's just a nice little piece of information if anybody wants to begin to understand gas tax. The other one that's a little bit more complicated, but actually I think does a nice job of trying to show where the money goes, is this taxes on gasoline infographic as well. So that came out from CRA yesterday. We're happy to share if anybody wants that electronically as well. I think that they do a nice job of trying to summarize a very complicated topic.
Could I just emphasize, Cheryl, that the gas taxes are based on the per gallon usage, not on the cost of a gallon of
That is
gas.
correct.
Whereas the sales tax is driven by the cost of each gallon of gas. I think that's something that sometimes the public is confused about. They believe as the price of gas goes up, so does the amount that comes through on the gas tax. Not true. The gas taxes are per gallon. The sales tax is based on the cost of a gallon of gas at the pump.
That is correct. It is a consumption tax, so it is based on usage per gallon as opposed to the price. And in fact, Dan's quick to point out, if anything, when prices are high and sales tax revenue obviously is good for the sales tax, that actually often will decrease travel because prices are high, which then again hurts us from the standpoint that that's a vital source of revenue for us on a per gallon basis, not on the price. That is correct. So that was all various pieces of information. In addition, we did receive the printed copies of our annual report yesterday, so we've distributed those as well. We did also send those out in yesterday's mail to all the various elected officials that we have throughout the county, be it township officials, county officials, state reps, state senators. So we were very pleased to share that information. Kudos to Emily and her staff. I think they did a very nice job in putting that together. Hope that you enjoy looking at that. We have a couple of extra copies of the hard print, but we've also making it available digitally as well. So certainly if anybody wants it, they can see it in that format too. Aaron did send out an email with respect to the CRA Highway Conference, which is in March. It is the March 21st through the 23rd. We did verify the March 21st is also a board meeting date for this organization. We don't believe that that conflicts because on Tuesday, it's typically committee meetings. And so for most of the board and actually a lot of staff, some staff will go up for the committee meetings, but for the most part, we should be able to hold our board meeting at its regularly scheduled time. The main part of the event is Wednesday and then in the morning on Thursday. So commissioners should still be able to attend the highway conference. If you have not already let Erin know, please do so if you plan to attend, and she would be happy to coordinate the registration. And that's up in Lansing at the Lansing Center.
And what's the deadline for withdrawal? If we register and want to withdraw so the road commission doesn't get invoiced for something we're not going to do?
It's 2 weeks prior to the event.
Okay.
Yep, early March. So if you could let us know ideally by March 1st, that
Okay.
way we can make sure that we have everybody appropriately registered or not registered if you're no longer able to attend.
Okay.
And then Commissioner Fuller shared this morning that there is a dedication tomorrow afternoon at 3:30 for the US 12 project. It looks like that ceremony will start at the fire station on Ford Boulevard, and there will be a shuttle bus over to the actual project itself. So that obviously is a big project. So just wanted to share that information, and congratulations, Commissioner McCollum. You were mentioned in there. That was very nice. That was definitely some community input and a big deal for the neighborhood. So we're very glad that that project is almost complete. Just a couple little touch-up items and it'll have a bow on it. So, so that's nice to see. Next, I would just like to thank Emily Kaiser. Tomorrow is her last day with our organization. She obviously has done a lot for us as an organization over the past 5 years. She's done a wonderful job of, supporting this board over the years and the board meetings and the reason why we are able to conduct business in the manner that we have. She knows darn well I hate the word pivot, but she certainly has helped us do that on more than one occasion and always do so in such a highly professional manner. And that's just one thing that I truly appreciate, the level of professionalism that she has brought to this organization. She's been a huge asset to all of us, particularly to me, and she's been a good friend. We wish her well. So thank you, Emily.
Maybe congratulate her, Madam Chair.
Of course, of course.
And she embarrasses easily as well. And last but not least, I just wanted to share that I will be on annual leave starting Thursday, and then I shall be back for the board meeting on January 3rd. Never fear, as usual, I have awesome people that will keep everything running in my absence. And since the main event is probably winter related, I'm actually slightly less than helpful under those circumstances. So it is with great pleasure that I can make that statement. So unless you have any questions for me, I'm happy to hand it over to staff.
I don't see any.
Okay, Dan, I think you're first up.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Dan Ackerman, Director of Finance and IT.
Good
Nice to see
afternoon.
everybody today. Well, finance is really hopping, with it being the end of the year. At this point, it's like what project is first, trying to prioritize, what needs to be done and working on year end, working on things for next year. I am happy to report that we sent out a majority of our final township billings from our township agreements. And I just want to thank Adam and his staff. I think there's been a higher level of communication this year between finance and operations. It truly is a team effort. Both sides are doing deep dives to make sure that the accuracy was there, to make sure that all the work was done. And so I feel really good about the process. And as we've discussed, I think this process will get even better going forward. So just appreciate all of his and his staff's time and effort, and hopefully the townships will pay us as quick as possible. So we shall see. If there's any issues, obviously we will keep the board informed. So believe it or not, we processed our last accounts payable and payroll checks for the year. So seems like the year just started, but here we are. So now comes again all the year-end procedures where we're still working on 2022 and then setting up 2023, and we can work on W-2s and 1099s and 1095 tax forms for Affordable Care Act. So yeah, just a busy time. As a matter of fact, after this meeting, I'm going to be meeting with Tracy Bulkwell, who handles our payroll, to see if we can finalize all the payroll reports for the year. You press a couple buttons and it clears out all the files for the next year, and then we can start working on the next year. So just a really busy time. Physical inventory counts. Right now, the Sign and Signals is doing physical inventory counts. The stock room and our bulk materials will do that at the first business day of the new year on the 3rd. So yeah, just like I said, a busy time. And a lot of this is to get ready for our audit, which starts on January 30th. So again, very ambitious timing, but we'll be ready. It just sometimes seems a little overwhelming at this time of the year, but we've been through it, and I've got a great staff, and I'm fully confident we will be ready. So, and then as far as IT, with all the vacations and holidays coming up, there will more than likely be no major software updates at this time. Chris has definitely opened my eyes to, it doesn't make sense at this time of the year to pursue anything if half or more of the workforce is not in the office and so on. So we'll definitely, that can wait until the new year. The site visit I mentioned at the last board meeting on January 10th, the vendor says they're ready to go. Again, we're looking at room 106 being similar to some of the other conference rooms, and the vendor said they are good to go on that. So that's awesome. And just another update on the CMAC refreshes. Josh is about almost halfway complete with those. And that's my report, unless there's any questions.
So will that conference room be upgraded this calendar year yet?
2023.
23, okay.
Yep. That's the hope. So
Understood.
yeah. Any other questions?
I don't see
Okay,
any.
great. Well, thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Dan.
Dan. Next up, we have Adam Lape, Director of Operations.
Good afternoon, Adam Lape, Director of Operations. 2023 is the terminology that we're starting with everybody. So we have started all of our project estimates for 2023, including the seal coat program. And then in conjunction with the local townships, working on the local road program. So we're very busy with the computers right now and seeing into the future. So my staff's going after that, and hopefully within the next month or so, we should have some pretty good idea of what cost and what projects we can present to the townships. So Forever changing, but moving forward for sure. All that's going on in conjunction with prepping for a winter event this week that likely we have our dedicated crews here through the holiday. So it's appreciated. Nature of the beast, unfortunately, winter's been patient until this week, of course. So we're prepared. It's going to probably be a long weekend, but we're ready. Equipment's ready. So we'll knock the dust off the plows and go move the snow and get us ready for next week. That concludes my update. If there aren't any other questions.
I think we're
Thank
set.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adam, and thank you to, in advance to your staff. It's a big holiday weekend and they will be making it nice and safe for the rest of us to get around,
Yes.
and that is much appreciated.
Yes, they are very prepared for this. So we're happy and very thankful for them.
And I'd just like to thank all the families that are supporting the people that clear the roads on nights, weekends, and
Yes.
holidays. I
Yes.
know it's a sacrifice for them as well.
Yeah, very much appreciated.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, last but not least, we have Matt McDonell, our Director of Engineering.
Good afternoon, Matt McDonnell, Director of Engineering. Happy to report a couple of things. We recently submitted for 6 projects for the MDOT buyout program for fiscal year 2024. So that was $2.6 million worth of buyout, and we got feedback that we made the list, made the cut. So looks like we'll have another round of project buyouts for fiscal year 2024. We've talked about the advantages of that program, and we're very excited to do that for 2023 as well. We've got 4 projects in 2023's budget. So also very excited to report, we received a funding notification for the Sharon Valley Road Bridge over the River Raisin. We had applied for local bridge funding for this structure, and we were successful. So the project estimate is $1.9 million. So that's 80% funded using these funds and 20% match. So that's a big score for the county at large. These are competitive grants that we will win after, and based on a rating system. And we're going to touch on that if we look ahead to our working session topics. We're going to look at bridges for the county. We'll talk about where our condition is and just how we go about funding projects for bridges. And so just a sneak peek to that. This is fiscal year 2025 that the funding is slotted for.
Is that bridge likely to be further weight restricted between now and?
We will
Well, for the
continue
next few
to
years?
do our inspections,
Yeah.
and that may be the case.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Matt, who's responsible for the 20% match? Is that us?
That is the road commission.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we'll get that forecasted in our budgets.
Okay.
Probably it'll be in the look ahead for in July with that second quarter budget, when we look ahead 2 years, so 2024 and 2025.
Right,
So
we'll
we'll
start
get
the
it.
design.
Yeah, bridges take a lot longer to go through all the permitting. And so we will start to look at, and that's a complicated one as well, with the very abrupt road alignment. So we maybe look at realigning some of the portion of the road leading up to the bridges, the bridge span. So getting started on that is critical to meeting those funding requirements for those deadlines.
But that's a bridge that has been posted for a long time, so. that
Correct,
is,
correct.
We're
very
very excited to have that award.
And I'll get that award letter in the next board packet. You'll see that.
Great.
But I wanted to share that good news.
Thank you.
Good work.
Absolutely. And I credit Nate Murphy is our bridge engineer. We work very closely with Aaron Burkholz and Nate Murphy know our system quite well. They also know that local road agency funding source, and we're able to really take advantage of that knowledge and experience and get this one funded.
Good deal.
All right, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. And that's it on behalf of staff.
Any other questions for Cheryl or her staff? Okay. I'd like to make a couple of points of personal privilege. The graphics and presentation of all our materials has come a very long way in the last 5 years. Thank you, Ms. Kaiser, for that. It's been an incredible transformation of much of what we do, right down to the board packets with beautiful graphics as headers now. In acknowledgement of Emily's service these past 5 years, I'd like to try and get through this. May the seas lie smooth before you. May a gentle breeze forever fill your sails. May sunshine warm your face. May kindness warm your soul. And until we meet again, may God bless you and keep you safe. Thanks for everything, Emily. Our next meeting will be next year at 1 o'clock, Tuesday, January 3rd. It's a regular meeting. There is no working session in conjunction with that. The virtual chat sessions that continue every Wednesday from noon to 1. Tomorrow and a week from tomorrow, I will be staffing those. And as we wrap up another eventful year, I wish everyone a healthy, safe, and joyful holiday season and new year. Having no further business to come before the board, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Support.
Aaron, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
and Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, we are adjourned. Well done, people.